What's happening here is actually kind of crazy.
Do you know who I really am? Maybe if you look closer. Oh God. Do you like games? Playing so many right now.
Now, this scene right here is shocking to me in more ways than one, because when you look at how Clara reacted to the man in yellow, it was almost as if she recognized who he was. And my first and immediate thought when this happened was that the man in yellow projected some sort of image into Clara's brain to make her realize that he is actually just in disguise as Sophia. Now, this is obviously insane to think about, because why would he choose Clara out of everyone else that is currently living in the town to specifically reveal himself to, when we have people like Boyd, Jade, Donna, Kenny, Ellis, Tabitha, whom he literally interacted with in the very last episode, and we even have Fatima in this town, who literally gave birth to a demon and might even be turning into a monster herself right now as we speak. Like, despite the fact that we have all of these people in the town who would clearly be a better choice to mess with, because I can just imagine the chaos that would ensue if Boyd, for example, started going around constantly screaming about how Sophia is actually a monster, and people would think that he has completely lost his mind. And yet, we see the man in yellow somehow chooses Clara in particular to reveal himself to, someone who doesn't really have that much influence in the town. And so the fact that he's done this to Clara in particular obviously makes it seem like he has some sort of relationship with Clara, whether it's a positive one or a negative one, who can say? No one can. But the fact that he chose Clara specifically definitely implies that they have a deeper connection than we've been led to believe throughout the story. And the idea of someone in the town working for the monsters is something that the people of this community, and I mean the real life people watching the show, not the from villains, have been theorizing since literally the first season of this show. From Tom the bartender, Elgin, Tilly, Donna, Jade, even Jim Matthews, Victor, and of course Clara herself. There has been no shortage of characters who have been theorized to be the mole. But when it comes to Clara in particular, there is one moment that happened in the show that has always stood out to me for reasons that will become very obvious once you watch what I'm about to show you.
Do you think we made it angry? The way the lights exploded?
What are you talking about?
That storm came out of nowhere. It's almost like we made something angry.
Now, this scene for me is the big one for Clara, and is the only reason why I've ever thought there was more to Clara as a character than we've initially been led to believe. Because even if you ignore how Jasper the demonic puppet showed up immediately after Clara left the room to scream at Jade, what cannot be ignored is that Clara's level of knowledge about this place is far beyond any of the fools that are currently living in this town. Because what I want you to notice here is how this scene between Clara and Jade happened right after Jim Matthews receives the radio call from the man in yellow and the basement collapse of the Matthews' house. The reason why what Clara says here is so intriguing to me is that this was way back in, I believe, the second episode of season 2. So absolutely none of the characters, except for Victor, would have had any idea that the Nightwalkers are working for something else, i.e. the entity in control of the monsters. Heck, even now they don't know that is the case because they're all idiots. But yet Clara somehow has that knowledge, that when people push too hard, this place retaliates because it wants everyone to stick to their assigned roles. So a lot of people have been saying that, oh, maybe she is Victor's sister, Eloise. That is unlikely unless they reveal that it's possible Julie has not been able to storywalk to the future, at least based on what we've been shown in the story right now. So this scene with Clara definitely stood out to me when I saw it, because we, the audience, knew that there was an entity because of the drawings on the wall at the end of season 1. But the people of the town, obviously they had no idea about any of that. So for Clara to know what this place does when people start stepping outside of their roles in the game was kind of crazy. And so when you look at this scene with Clara from the trailer of episode 9, it's definitely giving major vibes that Clara is actually working for the enemy, but that she may not have been aware of who Sophia was before the man in yellow has revealed himself to her. But that's just a few possibilities. The other possibility would be that Clara is actually working for the boy in white, and this is what brings me to the scene that I'm about to show you, so pay attention here.
Sarah, look up. It's angry now. Nathan was right about this place. Over there. You'll be safe in there.
Now, this scene is really the one which implies a connection between Clara and the boy in white, because what I really want you to notice here is how Clara, just like the boy in white, uses the same exact phrasing when she was talking to Jade right before the demonic puppet appeared that we saw the boy in white using when he was telepathically speaking before he sent Boyd and Sarah into the faraway tree. Like, Clara, just like the boy in white, specifically says that this place, which I assume to be the entity in control of the monsters, is angry now because of the things that the people in the town have been doing. So this definitely implies that Clara has the same level of knowledge as the boy in white, which could be because she was always working for him that entire time. Or the even crazier possibility would be that the boy in white and Clara are just one and the same, which is by far the most unlikely possibility. But if they wanted a plot twist, that would definitely qualify as one for obvious reasons. There are also some crazy connections between Donna and the supposed ghost of Father Cartry, like how Father Cartry literally asked Boyd, what would you do if she woke up after the supposed heart attack, and then Donna woke up immediately afterwards, then the ghost of Father Cartry just disappeared. If Donna is actually the one sending these visions of Ghost Cartry to Boyd and Ghost Jim to Ethan, that would be insane. However, what I really want you to focus on here is how the children in the trailer are clearly pointing at someone, something, who knows. Obviously, we do not know who they're pointing at this point in the story, but there's a few possibilities that come to mind immediately for me. The first would be that they're pointing at Jade, specifically because we've literally seen one of Jade's supposed reincarnations drinking blood from a child-sized skull. So one of the people he came from being somehow involved in the original child sacrifice would not be very surprising. The second possibility is actually that they're pointing at Fatima because Fatima is transforming into something and she has such a low heart rate, according to Christy, that she may as well already be dead. So yeah, the third possibility, of course, is that they're just pointing at the man in yellow, which would be boring as hell, but of course it is a possibility, as disappointing as that may be if it turns out to be true. Or maybe they're actually pointing at Ethan because he's supposed to be Victor's replacement in the cycle after this one. Now, that would actually be kind of cool to see, but to be fair, we don't even know that these children are trying to help anybody. In fact, they could actually be evil. Even when you think about the whole Ankui thing, they have only ever said that they wanted Tabitha to remember. They have never said that they are somehow in need of escaping this place. And even if they are pointing at the man in yellow, why would they wait right before the commencement of the plan to get the children's bones in the underground tunnels for them to start pointing at anybody? It's very possible that whatever they're trying to do in this scene right here is just a ruse to create conflict and therefore cause chaos in the town in order to prevent the townspeople from actually making any sort of progress in the story. Like, I want you to ask yourself a very simple question. If these children have the capability to point out the man in yellow in disguise as Sophia, if they can do that, why didn't they do that when Sophia first came into the town? Why are they doing it now? Why didn't they do that 2 episodes ago or 8 episodes ago? And why didn't they just do that 12 cycles ago or 500 years ago? Who knows? There's a lot about what's going on here that just doesn't make sense. Even when you look at the children we see in this trailer, these are not the same Ankui children that we've been seeing throughout the story. They are different. But ultimately, what matters most here is that the plotline of the man in yellow being disguised as Sophia has completely overstayed its welcome. Like, I'll be honest here, I am beyond exhausted of the man in yellow because the plotline of, is this the episode when he will be revealed? Or is he still going to maintain his secret identity? That entire shtick has gone on for far too long. When are we going to move on from this plotline? Because it has been 8 episodes of this same exact story, and there has been literally no progression in whatever's going on with the man in yellow being discovered by the people of the town as Sophia. And it's gotten to a point for me where I can't imagine how painful it would be to have to go through another season dealing with the same incredibly low intelligence villain known as the man in yellow. Like, if he did not want to be discovered by the townspeople, literally all he had to do was to put his yellow suit inside of the suitcase and bury it, just like Sophia's clothes were also buried in the suitcase, and literally nobody would have ever discovered that the man in yellow ever infiltrated the town. But he didn't do that. Instead, he left it on the ground for anybody to find it. And for the longest time, I actually thought the entire point of the infiltration and leaving the jacket behind was to cause the people of the town to start killing each other out of fear that one of them could be a monster, because they literally had the man in yellow saying that he wanted to watch the townspeople tear each other apart. But now we're going on the season finale, and I'm not seeing anybody tearing anybody else apart. So there was literally no point to that statement. And even if it happens in the next episode or episode 10, that will be way too late, because it's obviously going to be insanely rushed when it should have been spaced out throughout the season. All in all, I've definitely been very disappointed with this season because the writers clearly did not learn anything from the constant complaints that they got in the other seasons. They're still hyping up things that they never had any intention of delivering on. Like, look at Julie's story walking ability. It has been incredibly underutilized in order for useless characters that had nothing to the show to be given more screen time instead of focusing on her story walking back to the past. It's crazy what they're doing with this show, and they could easily be doing the same exact thing with Clara, intentionally hyping her up with the trailer and misleading us into believing she's some sort of mole or spy or something different than everyone else, just for her to end up getting killed by the man in yellow, which would be complete bullshit, because there would literally be no point to her character if that ends up happening. But either way, there's definitely a lot of weird things happening in this show right now, so go watch this video right here to see my thoughts on what's happening to Victor's dad, because the meaning of his hospital visions is absolutely crucial to understanding this story.